There's been a lot of buzz lately in the media about Tom Brady, and more specifically, whether or not he'll be back with the New England Patriots in 2020. A lot of reports are indicating that he won't be returning and that they haven't talked about a new contract at all. And a lot of people are speculating about where Brady will be going. But the one team that people seem to be connecting Brady to the most is my favorite team, the Tennessee Titans. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing my opinion on why I don't think the Titans should go after Tom Brady and why I think they should just bring back Ryan Tannehill and maybe draft a quarterback in the second or third round. Now, I'll address all the reasons that people say that they should go after Brady while giving counter arguments to all of them as well, and just giving my own reasons for why the Titans should not sign Brady. So I'm going to start off with my reasons for not wanting Tom Brady to come to Tennessee, and the first one is the team just went to the AFC Championship game, and I feel like signing a new quarterback after Ryan Tannehill not only was a big reason why Tennessee went from 2-4 to going all the way to the AFC Championship game, let alone the playoffs at all, he really fire-started this offense. Now, Derrick Henry's first 6 weeks of the season when Marcus Mariota was the starter, Henry only had one 100-yard game, and that was a game where he had 27 carries. It was a game against the Falcons. In the other 5 games, he had 84 yards and a touchdown, 82 yards and a touchdown, 44 yards and a touchdown, 78 yards and a touchdown, and then 28 yards against Denver. In the first 6 games of the season, Henry only had over 4 yards per carry in the first 2 games of the season. Once Tannehill became the starter, Henry did not have a single game under 4 yards per carry. So, a lot of people give Derrick Henry all of the credit for the offense being a lot better in the final 10 games of the season. And rightfully so. Henry, in my opinion, is the best running back in football right now, at least as far as just running the ball. I put Christian McCaffrey over him as an overall weapon offensively, but I think Henry is actually the better running back. Call it Titans bias if you want, I don't really care. But I'm not saying Derrick Henry didn't have a big part in the offense doing as well as it did in the second half of the season. But I think you got to give Ryan Tannehill a lot more credit for opening up the offense and allowing Henry to be more of an asset in the running game and take games over. Because without Tannehill, Henry wasn't doing very well with Mariota at quarterback. But once Tannehill became the starter, Henry just started going off on all of these teams, went on that late season run that he's gone on for the past few seasons. And before I say what I'm about to say, I'm going to make it very abundantly clear. I'm not trying to compare Kirk Cousins to Tom Brady because Kirk Cousins doesn't even belong in the same stratosphere as Tom Brady as far as quarterbacks go. But if Tennessee were to go away from Tannehill and sign 43-year-old Tom Brady, he's going to be 43 in August. He's not 43 right now. But if they sign Brady over Tannehill, it's going to be very reminiscent of when the Vikings made it to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum, but decided to go after Kirk Cousins. I get that Brady's body of work is a lot better than Tannehill's. Hell, Brady's body of work is better than every other quarterback, so, I mean, that goes without saying, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, Tannehill knows the offense. He's going to get a full offseason to work with Arthur Smith and make the offense better. He has a whole offseason to work with the receivers and whatnot and help get them to be better and help make himself better. So why mess up a good thing by trying to sign Tom Brady over bringing back Tannehill? That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Especially because I don't feel like Tannehill was the reason that we lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. He didn't play great, but he played pretty decently for the most part. And I don't believe that Tom Brady would have played any better in that particular game than Tannehill did. The Chiefs just had a really good game plan offensively and defensively. They exploited a lot of the Titans' weaknesses, and they got the dub. I mean, there's not much more you can say about that. I don't think Brady would have changed much of anything, especially at 42 years old. You can make a lot of arguments for not bringing Tannehill back because you might think that this season was a fluke, or he might get hurt like he did in Miami or something like that. But still, I like the upside of bringing Tannehill back over bringing in Brady, who's completely foreign to the offensive system. And sure, could he give Arthur Smith a lot of pointers on what he should do, like what plays they should run in these situations? Sure. But what happens if Brady does that and it makes everybody around him worse, makes the offense worse in general, but it benefits his stat line? I'm not saying for sure that that's how it's going to go down, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went down like that. But moving on, the next reason we're going to talk about why I don't want Brady to come to the Titans. This is also a reason I'm very against them signing Phillip Rivers at this point. For a little context on that little remark, I wanted Rivers like years ago when he was on like his final year of his contract, but he decided to stay with the Chargers. I think that was the year that Tennessee ended up drafting Mariota too, because there was a lot of talk that the Titans were going to trade the number 2 overall pick to the Chargers for Rivers and a few other picks as well. I just think that it's a really short-sighted and a really short-term fix to a long-term issue that Tennessee has had for over a decade now. The lack of a true franchise quarterback. Now, is Ryan Tannehill the franchise quarterback for the Titans? I'm not quite sure yet. He had one good year. He could have a horrible year if Tennessee brings him back this year. So I don't know if Ryan Tannehill is the franchise quarterback, but I do know Tom Brady isn't. I do know Phillip Rivers isn't. Regardless of whether or not either one of those two bring Tennessee to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, my personal feeling is if you're trying to sell out to win one Super Bowl and just have to rebuild right after that, you're not doing it right. I would rather see Tennessee build themselves up for possibly starting like a dynasty over the next decade or whatever than for them to just sell out for one Super Bowl and just be average to bad for the next 9 seasons after that. That's just how I look at sports. I think you should build towards long-term success over just 1 year. Because in the NFL, when you try to buy a Super Bowl, it usually doesn't work out very well. Just ask the Eagles at the early part of the 2000s when they built that little dream team, quote-unquote. And just ask the Jaguars from a few seasons ago. You don't got to go too far, honestly. The Jaguars tried to buy a Super Bowl team, and they made one AFC Championship game, haven't been back to the playoffs since. More to the point, Tom Brady might make this team better for 1 year. Emphasis on the word might, by the way. But it doesn't solve the Titans' long-term issue in the need of a franchise quarterback. They haven't had one since Steve McNair. Vince Young showed a little bit of a flash that he could possibly be that guy, but he ultimately crapped out. Jake Locker, same thing. Marcus Mariota, more so than the other two. Really, his second year, I thought he could definitely be the franchise quarterback, and I supported him the previous 2 years after that. But this past year, I just kind of gave up on him in week 3. And then week 7, Tannehill comes out and just starts balling for the next 10 games. So again, I don't know whether or not Tannehill is going to be a flash in the pan or this is just who he really is. He really can be a franchise quarterback. I don't know. But I know damn well that Tom Brady isn't. And as a matter of fact, I would not be shocked if this is the only season that Brady spends with the Titans. So now I'll give a few reasons that I've seen from people talking about why Brady going to the Titans would be a good thing. And there's actually one that I really can't argue too much against, and that is the fact that the Titans offense is actually perfectly tailored to Brady's style. Now, if there's one way in which Marcus Mariota is very similar to Tom Brady, is his preference to kind of dink and dunk and throw a lot of short to intermediate passes. I think this offense is built for like the short to intermediate passing game, and that's what Brady has thrived off of for the majority of his career. You haven't really seen Brady take too many deep shots, especially at this point in his career. I mean, all the weapons offensively are perfect for Brady. I mean, you got a really good running back in Derrick Henry, assuming Tennessee brings him back. You know, that's play action all day. Brady is definitely one of the better quarterbacks when it comes to play action. And then you got a deep threat in A.J. Brown. You got two really good pass-catching tight ends in Jonnu Smith and Anthony Ferkser, assuming Delaney Walker gets cut. We have Corey Davis, who's a really good run blocker and can make the occasional catch over the middle or near the sidelines. Then you get Adam Humphries, who would be your slot receiver, a la Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. Of course, Tennessee would probably have to go get a running back who can catch passes out of the backfield. That's not going to be Derrick Henry. Dion Lewis is probably going to get cut, so maybe they bring in Kenyon Drake. Maybe they draft a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Cam Akers or somebody like that. But basically, this offense is built for Tom Brady. A big problem I see with the Titans offense, though, they gave up 56 sacks this past season. Brady hasn't been sacked more than 41 times in his career, and he got sacked 41 times his second season in the league, which was his breakout season, by the way. I mean, there's a difference between 20-something-year-old Tom Brady and now 43-year-old Tom Brady going into this season. Now, Brady hasn't really had any major injuries outside of his torn ACL back in 2008, I believe it was. But do you really believe that a 43-year-old quarterback is going to make it through a season getting sacked 56 times? I don't think so. And Tennessee's not really in a position to really improve their offensive line. They've paid him so much money that they can't really get rid of Lawan, Saffold, or Jones. Nate Davis isn't going anywhere either. But at right tackle, you'll have either Conklin or Dennis Kelly, depending on how free agency goes. So either way, you're going to have pretty much the exact same offensive line that gave up 56 sacks last season. I'm not necessarily saying that they'll do the same thing this upcoming season, but do you really think that a 43-year-old man is going to be able to handle that? I don't think so. And now the final point that we'll talk about in this video is another reason for Brady to come to Nashville, and that's his championship pedigree. A lot of people are saying, well, he knows how to get to the Super Bowl. He can get the Titans over the hump, blah, blah, blah. Now, look, I respect the fact that Tom Brady's been to 9 Super Bowls and won 6 of them. But at 43 years old, do people really believe that he's going to be able to help the Titans get to the Super Bowl by his play? Yeah, sure, telling somebody how to get to the Super Bowl is great, but actually getting him there is a whole different thing. I'm sure a lot of people will buy into whatever Tom Brady tells them. Sure, I think that'll definitely be helpful, but you know what's not going to be helpful? Him needing 600 passes to get over 4,000 passing yards. Sitting on the sideline arguing with Arthur Smith the same way he did with Josh McDaniels all those years. Throwing a temper tantrum when things aren't going his way on the field. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I'm not saying that Tom Brady would necessarily be toxic for the team, because I mean, I think even those things in their own way motivate the team to do better. Overall, I just don't think that a 43-year-old quarterback is going to be the answer to get the Titans to the Super Bowl. I know he's been to 9 of them. I know he's won 6 of them. But I don't think he's going to win his 7th with the Titans. In conclusion, I just think bringing Tom Brady on the team over Ryan Tannehill would be completely short-sighted. It would not benefit the team as much as people think it would. And maybe Brady takes him to the Super Bowl this year, but he's not a long-term solution. And I would rather see Tennessee do something more long-term beneficial than just something for this season. And like I said, I don't know whether or not Ryan Tannehill is the long-term solution for the Titans at quarterback, but I do know Tom Brady isn't. That being said, if Ryan Tannehill just outright decides he doesn't want to come back to the Titans, then I would be a little more okay with them going after Brady, but I would say Tennessee would then have to draft a quarterback first round. Maybe Jake Fromm, maybe Jordan Love, hell, maybe even Jacob Eason. I don't know. I'm not really a big Jacob Eason fan, but, you know, late first round, late second round, Tennessee would have to draft a quarterback at that point, just so they can learn behind Brady for this year, maybe next year too. But that would pretty much be the only situation in which I would be okay with Tom Brady coming to Nashville. Overall, I think Tannehill is the better option moving forward for the team. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think the Titans should pursue Tom Brady in free agency? Let me know in the comment section what you think, guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more, hit that sub button as well. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day and night whenever you're watching this. Like I always say, guys, no matter what happens, make sure you keep that mofo rolling. I love y'all 3,000. I'm out at 5,000. Deuces.